What's up, boopers? Weakaura here, and a few of you guys have been requesting more information about add-ons for warriors in Classic WoW and the add-ons that I was using during my 1 to 15 leveling run. But I noticed there's still a lot of add-on purists out there who think that add-ons are for sissies and the real chat men use default UI. Well, I'm here to tell you about some very important add-ons for Classic World of Warcraft that everybody should have, and I will tell you why. And of course, any add-ons I mention in this video, I'll post a link to in the video description so you can download them yourself. So before I jump into my UI recommendations, let's talk about the purpose add-ons serve so you can understand why I am recommending you these add-ons. Now, add-ons and UI elements will not make you a better player. There is no magical add-on that's just going to suddenly turn you from a newbie into some rank 14 high warlord. Add-ons are simply helping you play better and make better decisions. It sounds a bit confusing, but yeah, add-ons don't make you better, they allow you to be better. You can break down add-ons into basically 3 types. There's vanity add-ons that just change the way things look, like if you want a square minimap instead of a circle, or like a pretty character portrait, etc. Then there are convenience add-ons. They generally just make things easier for you to see or click, like auto quest accepting add-ons or add-ons that let you move UI elements to be easier to see. And lastly, there is information add-ons, the most important. These add-ons will give you information about what is happening around you beyond what the basic UI is telling you. Let's pretend your World of Warcraft UI is a car dashboard when you are driving around in your car. The dashboard has to have the controls of your car, obviously, so you can drive around, a steering wheel, some brakes, etc. But if that's all it had, it would still be pretty hard to drive your car and manage your car, right? There's a ton of stuff going on inside your car and on the road that you are not getting any information about, so it's hard to make decisions on certain things. For example, when do you need to fill up your gas? You've got no idea how much gas you have, so you have no idea when to refill it or how much longer you can go without refilling it. Sure, if you drive your car long enough, you start to develop a feeling for how much further your car can go, but it's never going to be accurate, so you can never make greatly informed decisions on when you need to refill your gas. So of course, you want to add a fuel meter to your dashboard. That's going to tell you how many liters of gas you've got left. Seeing your gas doesn't make you a better driver, but it enables you to make better decisions. Now imagine that fuel meter calculates exactly how much further you can go before it runs out, and now suddenly you went from just guessing and feeling when you need to refuel to knowing exactly when to do it and when not to do it. You now have a huge advantage in fuel management compared to someone who doesn't have a fuel meter. Alright, let's get off the car analogy and let's jump into our Classic WoW UI. In that exact same way, in Classic World of Warcraft, these add-ons I'm going to recommend to you are mainly focused around information add-ons that are going to tell you things about what is happening around you in the game that you otherwise would have had to just guess about, or have had to feel for. It means that if you play without these add-ons, you are at a disadvantage against any player who is using them, because you'll have less information to base your in-game decisions off of in PvE and PvP combat. So when I say that these are must-have add-ons, it's not just hyperbole. Let's get started with the first add-on, Classic Aura Durations, or any debuff tracking add-on. By default, Classic WoW UI will tell you when you hamstring an enemy by showing it as their debuff on their bar, but it won't tell you when that hamstring is going to wear off and when you need to reapply it, so that you don't waste rage reapplying it too early or let your target get away because you forgot to reapply it quick enough. As I said, the add-on won't make you a better player, but it's allowing you to play better. While warriors don't have many debuffs in particular outside of things like hamstring, rend, or taunts and sunders, many classes rely heavily on their debuffs to keep their targets slowed or keep damaging dots like Shadow Word Pain or Curse of Agony or Serpent Sting, or heck, judgments and poisons from rogues. Being able to see exactly when your debuffs will drop off and need to be reapplied is a very powerful information tool that helps you manage your resources in Classic much more efficiently than someone who is just feeling out their debuffs and winging it. There are a few powerful add-ons that allow you to track debuffs. I go with Classic Aura Durations for warriors because it's really simple, but other classes with more complex debuff-based rotations may opt for more powerful versions such as Omni CC. The next add-on I recommend everyone use is Classic Castabars. This add-on will inform you not only what people and mobs are casting, but how long until it finishes casting and what the rank of the ability is that's being cast. Without this add-on, the only indicator you will have that a spell is coming is glowing hands, and you'll have no idea how much time you have to interrupt the spell or what spell you are even interrupting. If you try to play a warrior in PvP or PvE without this add-on, you'll have a very difficult time managing enemies and interrupts compared to somebody who does have this add-on. This is a very important information add-on that allows you to make tons of big decisions with more of the information, and I cannot stress how vital it is to playing good in Classic. And Classic cast bars specifically is a good add-on because it allows you to customize a lot about the cast bars and move them around. I know there's other add-ons that do this, but I prefer this one. The third information add-on I will recommend for warriors to have is Weapon Swing Timer. As the name implies, it simply tells you the cooldown on your enemy's auto attacks and your auto attacks so that you know when your next swing is going to hit and when their next swing is going to hit. This information allows you to weave in attacks between your auto attacks or hamstring kite out of your target's melee range with more precision than you would be able to if you were just constantly guessing. This is mainly a melee friendly add-on, but all classes could use this information to their advantage if they have it on their screen. Say if a mage was trying to kite an arms warrior. Weapon Swing Timer is easy to move, it's easy to manage the bars around and change the sizes, it doesn't take much space, so it's a definite grab-a-roni recommendation from me. The fourth information add-on I recommend is Real Mob Health. As the name implies, all this add-on really does is tell you the exact HP your enemies have. It typically only works after you've killed a mob at least once before, and most of the time this information isn't that crucial, but sometimes knowing exactly how many hits an enemy is away from dying can help you make a decision on what ability to use to finish them off, be it to save rage, mana, energy, or just time in general. It's great for dot management even with Rend, and on multiple targets you can easily see if a quick instant spell can finish off one of the mobs, so you don't need to waste a weapon swing on them. Without having this information available, you can't really make any informed decisions on what resources to expend on low health or high health targets, and you are forced to more or less just guess. So any player with this add-on has a big advantage over those without it. The fifth information add-on we'll talk about next is damage and threat meters. They are different, but I'll bunch them together as they kind of do the same thing. A damage meter will tell what you and your party members' damage output is at any given time in an encounter or in a dungeon. And a threat meter basically tells you how much threat each member of your group has generated on a mob so you know who it's going to be attacking. Many people blame damage meters for elitism in groups, and that's kinda true. People use low DPS against others all the time to flame them. But you should, instead of viewing it as a tool to bully people, look at it as a tool to improve yourself. Knowing your damage output allows you to test out different abilities and rotations and gear to know how to get the most out of your character and be the most powerful. Without a damage meter, you can still have fun enjoying the game, but you'll have a harder time improving yourself if you don't pay attention to how you are performing. It's kind of like if you were constantly taking tests at school, but you never look at your grades. It's a little weird. A threat meter, however, it's much more significant in that it will tell you how close you are to pulling threat on an enemy off of your allies. This can save your life and your group's lives many times in dungeons, because without this information through an add-on, you'll have no idea when you need to stop attacking to protect yourself from pulling threat. There are plenty of enemies that will one-shot anybody who isn't a tank. Players who run without this add-on will often pull threat and annoy their entire group and possibly cause wipes, all because they just didn't have the same information everybody else who was using this add-on had. The last information add-on I'll talk about is Weakauras, which kind of borders on a convenience add-on. Weakauras allows you to set up custom alerts for certain situations in-game and basically play sounds or visuals on your screen to remind you of things. It isn't really an information add-on by itself, though skilled players can turn Weakauras into a very powerful information add-on. It's basically just a neat reminder add-on for most players. For example, you can set it up to pop up a big red light on your screen and scream at you anytime you forget to have put up Battle Shout. I definitely recommend it for most players, as it takes a lot of practice and intuition to get to a level where you never forget any of your buffs or procs, so instead use Weakauras to remind you of things that you sometimes forget to improve your gameplay. But that's it for the must-have add-ons. Next I want to move on to convenience add-ons. The first godly, very powerful convenience add-on I use and I recommend for everybody is Leatrix Plus. This add-on is a beast. It does so much stuff I can't really cover it all in this video. The important points of Leatrix is that it can auto sell your junk in your bags, auto accept quests for you just by clicking on NPCs. It can let you move your minimap and your portraits and buffs and debuff frames. It lets you add checkboxes to your character portraits to show and hide your cloak and helm. Leatrix Plus is basically the god add-on of classic WoW convenience, and while it doesn't improve gameplay or give you any information, it makes your life a lot easier and will save you a lot of time in game, especially for those looking to level fast. So a huge recommendation from me on Leatrix Plus. The other convenience add-on I use is Dominos. It's basically a simple add-on that allows you to move your bars around and position them easily, set up hotkeys easy, etc. Again, doesn't do anything special, but being able to move your action bars and other UI elements is nice as you can group them up together better rather than having them all spread out. There are a ton of add-ons that do this, but I prefer Dominos because it's really easy to set up your hotkeys. Lastly, though I don't have it installed yet, as I haven't needed it yet, I recommend a boss mod add-on. This falls somewhere between the information and convenience categories. It's basically just shouting things at you whenever a boss is doing bad stuff or puts debuffs on you. In some encounters, it's simply a convenience add-on that reminds you that you are the bomb, so you don't have to watch your debuffs and accidentally blow up the whole raid. But in other encounters, it's an information add-on telling you the boss's abilities cooldown so you can prepare for what they will do next before they do it. Without the information from a boss mod add-on, some boss encounters increase in difficulty tenfold, so there's really no intelligent argument to make against having one during max level dungeons and raids when you do hit 60, but you probably don't really need one while you are leveling up. That covers all of the add-ons that I recommend though. Some of them definitely must-haves, and most of them I was using during the stress test and I plan on using for Classic WoW at this time. I'm not big on the appearance add-ons that go so crazy, I just like to keep it simple, but I also like to dig up as much information I can get, so let me know in the comment section below if you guys have any badass information or convenience add-ons that you found working in Classic WoW that you recommend. Also guys, holy shit, we hit 50k subscribers. That is a huge milestone and I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing me through good times and bad times. Look forward to tons of more content on Classic WoW and other MMORPG related stuff coming up, but for now guys, I am booping out.